last Friday, Congressman Lawler was sitting in for Sean, and he did great too. And then he decided, unlike most House Republicans, particularly ones who live in competitive districts, and he lives in one of the most competitive districts in the country, to have a town hall. Here's a little bit of how that went.
Guys, he's talking. Guys, I'm allowing him to say, but.
Wanted to listen to them or not. But I very much appreciate you participating and look forward. I'm sure I'll see many of you at the next one in Putnam County. So have a good night.
Have a good night. Joy, we've seen similar disruptions at other Republican town halls. And some Republicans claim this is all, George Soros-funded fakery. But what's your analysis of the what is that manifesting? Why are the town halls like that? Or who's angry? What are they angry about?
Well, I think that's the interesting thing is I feel like nobody can really tell. People just seem angry in general. But my first thought was is this AstroTurf or is it real? Because if it's real, then that's one thing. I think then you can say that the temperature against the GOP is really hot. In a bad way. But if it's fake, then it just feels kind of pointless. And honestly, I'm starting to wonder, are the town halls pointless? Because now they just seem to do videos of people really angry, not really asking for anything or asking to change any specific thing, unless I'm missing some video clips.
Right. So America, meet me at camera one. Listen, it's wrong for people to assume it's not AstroTurf, because it could be. And reporters who just cover this stuff and say, of course it's genuine, wrong. But you know what else is wrong? Assuming that it is AstroTurf, because you don't know. Those of you who are putting in the chat, it's AstroTurf. You literally don't know any better, ironically, than the people you're criticizing for saying it's not AstroTurf. I wish we knew. It's very hard. You'd have to go to these town halls. You'd have to run the people down. You'd have to cross-examine them. You'd have to do a lot of research on who they were. Very difficult thing to do. But I'll say again, and I'll direct this more to MAGA, okay? I agree with you. The press shouldn't cover these as if they're not AstroTurf. But please recognize the irony. You don't know that they are. I thought originally that they were. Now I'm beginning to think maybe they're not. But I'm just speculating based on years of watching town halls. But you don't know they're AstroTurf. And not only are you polluting the public discourse by saying something that you don't know the answer to, but you may be setting yourself up for a blue tsunami in 2026, because this may be the beginning of a inverse Tea Party type reaction. So you're putting your head in the sand by saying of course, they're AstroTurf. Dan, what say you?
Well, I think Joy said it very well. We don't know, as did you. I also think it's worth kind of understanding there are different degrees of AstroTurf. Having put town halls together, there can be the organized out of Washington, D.C. This is all, kind of one master plan, let's say the DCCC or labor or whatever. Then it can be a member of Congress put something out and local opposition, people who are just energized, say, hey, look, so-and-so's having a town hall. Let's go. Let's press on A, B, C, or D issue. Nothing out of Washington, no state party kind of master plan. But all of it still, you have to get people to agree to go. You have to get people that, are willing to stand up. They're not being paid. 90% of the time, they're not being paid. I'm sure there's an instance or two where people have. But I would not discount the fact that it is pretty apparent, both in qualitative, quantitative data, Democrats are fired up. There really is a lot of energy. Now, it's outrage, and you can say, that's terrible, and they're hyperventilating when they shouldn't. But today, and there's a long way to go, our party is pretty darn fired up, and that is good. It's a good start.
I will say, yes, I think Mark is right. If there is a blue wave coming, I do think the Republican Party needs to really take a look at any signs, any vital signs, and say, okay, poll numbers are bad for the Democrats, but they're also getting worse for Republicans, just so that we don't have another situation in midterms where we're taken off guard.
Well, by the way, you don't see Republicans. They know the same town hall is coming. Where's
Yeah.
the base showing up to like counter program, to
Yeah.
cheer and boo them and shout them down? Like, you don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joy, brilliant participation. Thank you. And Dan's gave a two-part answer. The second part was about how the Democrats are fired up. Dan's first part analyzing the gradations of AstroTurf. One of the reasons I love the show, so proud of it. You won't. I've never heard that laid out that way in my whole career. In reading about town halls and protests, etc. So brilliant. We'll clip that. We'll put that on the interweb because he's absolutely right. There's different gradations of AstroTurf, and of course, there's nothing wrong with any of it. And as he said, even the most manipulated, the thickest AstroTurf, George Soros gets on his phone to his henchman and says, "I want 19 people at the Lawler town hall, and I will write checks to all of them." Even executing that, not that easy. You still got to get people to go. Hey, want to be part of the two-way community all the time? Hit the subscribe button. Great video clips like this, plus conversations like no other, full episodes and more, always available on this channel. You got to hit subscribe to never miss a thing.